Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is a topic of what the Trump Jeffrey Epstein controversy shows about Trump, okay? So, when it comes to what it shows about Trump, is it shows what I said all along about Trump. If you watch some of my earlier videos, which is the fact that Trump is simply not truly a revolutionary like people prompt him up to be. Okay, because people prompt him up to be, or at least at one point, definitely not even that long ago, before this Jeffrey Epstein controversy came up, as someone who's a liberator, a man who is fighting for the common man. And what this whole controversy is, especially when you take into consideration that Jeffrey Epstein knew a lot of very powerful people, and Trump is not willing to release the files of those powerful people, what it really shows you is that Trump is just another fake person, in other words, character he's trying to play, you know, instead of being the so-called true anti-establishment person that he prompted himself to be. Oh, fuck the system. I'm going to speak out against the corrupt people on Washington and all that type of stuff. I'm going to drain the swamp. And now you realize at the end of the day, he's just another, well, fake person, okay? And that's the truth of the matter. Because the truth is, to now get into the point of exactly what I'm trying to get into, what my point is that when you look at Trump from the very get go, do you really think a person of his caliber, when it comes to how much money he has, and how well established he was, in the world of a powerful elite, like he knew Clinton, who, of course, nowadays he distanced himself from him, but at one point he knew Clinton and he knew a lot of very powerful people who are part of this so called establishment that a lot of people also claim work for the Illuminati and all that type of stuff. The truth of the matter is, when you have a situation like that and he knows all these people, like he was good friends with at some point, and he has all this money, what makes you really think that he's actually going to be the so-called person who is fighting against the system? Because the truth of the matter is, this is a case of human psychology, slash biology 101. Okay, people will usually, for the most part, only rebel against something or go against something if they have been through a lot. Okay, if there is something that they need for their own survival, okay? But if things are going well for them and so on and so forth, even if they can see the faults of the world and realize, okay, there's a lot of bullshit going on, usually, if not to be quite blunt, the vast majority of times they're not going to rebel against it because there's no need to rebel against it, okay, for that matter, okay? What's the point of rebelling against something that is a lot of work and it takes a lot of time and so on and so forth, when you have all this money and you have access to all this woman and all this type of stuff, for that matter, in the first place? That's exactly the truth of the matter. And that's human psychology 101. When you look at the history of the world and just, for that matter, use basic common sense, okay? So when it comes back to Trump, why would Trump, with all the money he has, and he had even more money, I think, back in the day, and he still has a lot of money now, really waste his fucking time, you know, you know, being some person who says, "Oh, I'm gonna make America great again." He's not interested in making America great again. He's interested in just simply using it for his own personal gain and agenda, coming up with that fake um prompt or fake slogan or whatnot, which doesn't represent what he actually truly genuinely in his body actually believes. And that is the truth of the matter, for that matter, okay? He doesn't give a fuck about that. He cares about just using this as a way to maybe give him some extra fame, money, power, and so on and so forth, versus actually, well, doing the things he said he was going to do. And the Jeffrey Epstein case definitely proves that, okay, for that matter, okay? Because he's president of the United States, okay? The most powerful person in the face of the world, okay? For that matter, okay? At least mostly. You get the point, okay? You're telling me he can't release the files of people like Jeffrey Epstein, and all the powerful people who were surrounded around him, because when you look at it from official storyline perspective, um, to be quite blunt when honest with you, he is a person of authority and power. What the hell are these rich people, even if they have a lot of money, if they're business people, for that matter, what can they do to stop someone as powerful as a man who can literally, for crying out loud, make the world come to an end by simply pressing a button like a nuclear weapon switch if it's so required, be scared of some powerful, rich, old men for that matter. You want to know why? Because he's a fraud. He's a con. He's simply not someone who he claimed to be. He's simply a pawn, and being a president of the United States is not as powerful as they make it out to be. There's a lot of rules he has to follow. There's a lot of people out to get him, if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. So he's just simply a pawn. He's just an actor, in other words. He's not actually going to do the shit he's going to claim that he's going to do, and it just shows you what happens when people don't listen. Besides, if he was really so anti-establishment, according to all these people who are pro-Trump and believe in these conspiracy theories and stuff, how the hell did he even get to the position he was in the first place? There's the people who've spoken up against, the establishment, in interviews and all this type of stuff, have been killed for just simply saying, you know, the wrong things, for crying out loud, okay? And we're talking about famous celebrities. There's numerous famous celebrities who allegedly, and evidence kind of shows, yes, it was true, for that matter, were killed for speaking the truth. Okay, now you're telling me he's gonna go through. Someone like Trump is gonna go all the way up to a position of power. He's gonna go through all those stages, all those regulations, all those connections, and all those type of people. Yada 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 yada. The whole 9 yards. In some way, somehow, they didn't take him out before he got to that position of power in the first place. Whether killing him or just preventing him from joining, if he's somehow this genuinely anti-establishment person. Because the simple truth of the matter, he is not. He's a party establishment, and this whole thing about make America great again is just simply a con, to get him some more stuff for his own personal gain. This whole thing is complete bullshit, is a complete fabrication and a lie, and the Jeffrey Epstein case has shown it. For that matter, okay? He's simply a con. He's not going to make America great again. The price of living is still terrible and still bad. And this whole situation that's going on just shows you exactly what people who are free thinking and logical have always known. This whole system in general, whether left, right, but specifically right, let's be honest, is a whole fucking con. And he's not going to do anything amazing. He's not going to do anything revolutionary. He's just a part of the system. Okay, and that's the truth of the matter. He is not going to really change anything like he claimed he was going to. And that's the truth about Trump. And hopefully this serves as a wake-up call for the more enlightened people that Trump was simply a con and he's not going to do anything. Besides, one of the best ways to tell is anyone in this modern world, especially with social media and all this type of stuff we have nowadays that prevents people from even really doing much anything of anything in the first place, okay, politically speaking. What makes you think that anyone is going to come and truly save us? We've already seen this with the whole fall of all the alt-right people who were popular a few years ago, from Jair Bolsonaro, Boris Johnson, you know, that woman in Italy, Giorgia Meloni, and a few others who went on this profile, oh, we're gonna make things better, and didn't even really do anything. And Giorgia Meloni is pretty much kind of useless anyway, because it's all a scam. And this just shows you that whenever you hear this right wing propaganda about, oh, we're gonna have the savior, this and that. Just remember that it's all fake, and that's the truth about Trump. He's just simply a con. He's a part of the establishment that he, like everyone else, there's nothing special about him. There's nothing that's going to truly revolutionize anything or change anything for that matter. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say, and I just want to make it clear to people that if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say, and simply put them out. So bye.